As the Thanksgiving holiday quickly approaches here in the U.S., our governments are wanting to remind us that we are under stricter lockdowns than we have ever been before, and that you are not allowed to go out and see your family, or you are gonna kill Grandma. They, however, are perfectly fine doing whatever the fuck they want. I can't be the only one that finds this weird, right? How our governments, and this seems to be a global thing, tell us not to go out, not to do this, not to do that, yet they seem incapable of following their own rules. Just to name a few examples off the top of my head, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, was recently found going to a fancy bougie restaurant with, and I think I have the title slightly wrong, but it's the same sort of idea. The head of the California Medical Association, among a bunch of other people, weren't wearing masks, weren't social distancing, weren't doing anything like that. Even though they have effectively closed all restaurants yet again in California. Andrew Cuomo gets a picture taken of him breaking the mask wearing and social distancing rules that he's enforced every month or so. He goes on TV and rants about how he's been targeted and harassed and all that, and he's getting an Emmy for this. That is real. Andrew Cuomo is getting an Emmy for being on TV so much. This is real. Feel free to look it up if you don't believe me, because I don't believe me either. Justin Trudeau, to take a hop across the border, has had one of the stricter lockdowns in the Americas. He and his family were photographed at a ski lodge within days of his wife contracting COVID. So not only did he not stay inside, which was his orders, he went out before the 14-day quarantine period after his wife caught COVID. And then to bring it back to the U.S. again, and this is probably the biggest example, Nancy Pelosi, a congresswoman from California, was caught on security camera going to a salon to get her perm done. That footage leaked, I'm assuming because someone hacked it and stole it or whatever, because it doesn't seem like the owner of the salon leaked that footage. She then complained how she was the victim of a sting operation and how she was only sorry that she got caught in this sting, rather than, sorry for breaking the law that she was instrumental in creating and advocating for. And then this can go on and on forever, but you get the idea. Our leaders, who seem to want the strictest lockdowns, are incapable of following it themselves, and it's baffling to me. You are the people that want this. I would think that you, of all people, would be the ones that are able to follow it. And they want even stricter lockdowns during this new wave of COVID. They keep talking about implementing a European style of lockdown. Let me give you an idea of what the European style is for those of you that aren't in Europe. I'm gonna pick Greece as an example, just off the top of my head. In Greece, they have made it so that in order to go outside of your home, you need to text the local authorities. Now, it's an automated number for this, so I'm going to cut people off before they accuse me of not being fully clear on this. but you have to text your local authorities, automated number or not, who then send an automated reply, and you have to keep doing this every hour. It only lasts for 1 hour. It expires after that hour. And you have to do that because you will get stopped by the cops at some point. There are cops out everywhere checking to make sure, why the fuck are you out? And you have to show that text. And if you can't show one from within an hour, then you get your ass hauled to jail. We want that here in the U.S. With our Patriot Act, do you know how much of a nightmare that's going to be to the U.S. citizenry? And that's just one example. We're already seeing places starting to enact this. California has gone full lockdown yet again. Newsom has said that Thanksgiving can only happen, I believe, with 2 or 3 households per house, and it has to be outside, and you have to have your mask on in between every bite. Again, a thing that he was incapable of doing himself. Pennsylvania has said that you have to wear masks even in your own fucking home. It's insane. We are even stricter than we were during what was effectively the nationwide lockdown. I say effectively because not every state was actually in that, and it was just most that did it around the same point. But we are going towards a stricter lockdown than what was done during what was effectively the nationwide lockdown. And the death numbers and hospitalization rates don't match up with doing that. I keep a running check of these kind of things, and the death numbers are nowhere near what they were during that first initial peak, largely because New York has stopped shoving the sick into nursing homes, but I digress. And the hospitalization rates, as much as you will hear some doctors scream, we're overstaffed, give us more money, which there's the secret, that's why they're saying this. They are not overpacked. They are nowhere near as packed as they were before. They are not overpacked. It is nowhere near as bad as some will keep saying it, because if you actually go to these hospitals, there's still plenty of beds left. Yeah, you're going to see a few hospitals here or there that are overrun. A few out of the entirety of the fucking country. This seems to be the way it's working. One person sneezes, we shut everything down. And this is the part that I, as an American, don't understand. You don't have to go out. You can stay inside as much as you want, but that's not enough. You are forcing everyone else to follow your will of not wanting to go out. That doesn't sit well with me, and that's what our medical experts seem to be chiming as well, that the American spirit is too strong, we need to tear that down. Thank you, Fauci. I don't get it. I really don't. The same people that cry about Trump authoritarian fascism are demanding that everyone not be allowed outside. I hope that people can see the irony in that. And it's always said, whenever it's said, it's always done in a way that makes them sound virtuous for doing it. Oh, well, I just want to protect you from getting COVID. I don't care about myself. I want to keep you safe. That's not your business. That has nothing to do with you. You're perfectly capable of keeping yourself safe. That's where it ends. Am I crazy? I really don't get what the fuck is going on anymore. why our government is going stricter, and we just don't have the numbers to corroborate going even stricter than before, and why our government is completely and totally incapable of following their own goddamn rules. The economy is suffering bad because of the first wave of lockdowns, and you're now wanting to impose a new one, I guess, to completely destroy it. Because it didn't work the first time. I got no other idea why you'd be doing this. I hope that people are just fucking sick of this and effectively they just ignore it at this point, because what can you do anymore? Our government isn't following their own rules. Our government is just doing whatever the fuck they want. They're punishing the citizenry for continuing to exist. I'm not saying break the law. I'm just saying, like, do as your government would do. Haha. And for the record, no. I know that there are government officials that they're still in meetings, they're still doing business things because they're in government, they're still checking with doctors, checking with safety experts, etc. Those things I get. Again, I understand those things. That's why I didn't list any of those as examples. It's why I listed a fucking perm and a bougie dinner party as the examples for breaking their own COVID rules, okay? So I'm going to stop you there. I really hope that they reverse course on what they're doing, because it's not working. It's actively detrimental to the people that it's allegedly trying to help, and it just is something that is going to cause more issues than it fixes. Especially since the areas that are affected right now are largely Democrat run. And yes, I know, my party divide. I see no red states. I see no blue states. Only United States. Look at the actual cases that are happening right now. The biggest hit areas, other than the major population centers like Florida, Texas, California, the biggest hit areas are New England, the Great Lakes, and especially Illinois. These are all areas, and you can back trace it, that started reporting massive spikes right when Biden was announced by the media to have won, and everyone went out and celebrated. No masks, no nothing. The people that demand that society be shut down went out, didn't give a fuck, and now our numbers are going way up. I am absolutely sure because of that. Well, because of that and the nonstop rioting and burning and looting, but that seems to have been in smaller numbers. This one was the big one. Again, to put things in perspective, because this is the only way that I can figure this is why we're seeing what we're seeing. Illinois has a population of about 40% of what Texas does. And I'm using the number 1 and the number 2 for number of cases. Illinois and Texas. They are number 1 and number 2, respectively. Illinois has a population of about 40% of Texas, yet is reporting cases about 20% more than Texas. That shouldn't happen. So that's the only thing that I can think, is that this all stems from the massive million people parties that happened where no one was wearing masks, no one was social distancing, no one was following the rules that they demand everyone else follow, and so, boom. And unfortunately, now the rest of us who have been responsible are being punished because the people that demand that we follow their rules are incapable of following their own rules and are now demanding stricter rules because apparently they need to be told not to do something, which they'll then just ignore if something they like goes their way. I don't fucking know what's going on anymore. It is pure insanity, and I really hope that we just stop. We stop, we realize this isn't working, and we figure out something else. Or maybe the vaccine will come out very soon, and that will stop this craziness. I don't care what does it, just that it stops, because this is going to do more damage than it is help. It's what happened last time. It's what absolutely is going to happen this time. And, oh boy, I'm not looking forward to that. This has been Math Machine, reminding you folks to do as your government does. I'm pretty sure that involves felonies, but hey, what's good for the goose, good for the gander, right? Peace out.